I'm Paulie Beach. I'm here to give a music lesson for beginners. I want to tell you a few small points about music that might help you in your conceptual understanding of music so that you can study it in more depth through all the various sources that are offered out there, including my own, which can be found at musicwormhole.com. One of the first things I'd like to tell you about is the concept of notes and octaves. Music is arranged into 12 notes in each octave, and on a product like this we are showing those 12 notes, each shown with a separate color. And here I've had my colleague Alex especially prepare this morning the frequencies of the various notes in the various octaves, and we've presented it here on this diagram. And as you can see, in each of the colored sectors, the note frequency is doubling as it moves out to further and further octaves. So for instance, this octave here has a frequency of 2000 and the octave above is 4000, and basically the note frequencies double as they move up the octaves, or put the other way, they divide in half as they move down. The lowest sounding notes are the lowest frequencies, and the highest sounding notes are the highest frequencies. So when I talk to you in a deep voice like this, the frequency that my voice is emitting is a lower number or number of vibrations per second than when I talk to you in a high voice like this. That's a high number of vibrations per second. And the same concept applies to all musical instruments. If I use the ukulele to play a C chord, this is the C chord right there. This is actually C5, and it is 523 vibrations per second. 500 vibrations per second is the sound. Now that same C can be played on another instrument, and it will also be 500 vibrations per second. On this keyboard, that C is this sound. I'll just turn the volume up. And you can hear they are approximately the same sound. However, all instruments produce their own timbre, and that is a particular characteristic of the sound wave. Even though the wave frequency or the number of waves per second is the same from each instrument, the shape of the wave varies slightly from instrument to instrument, and that's how you can tell a violin from a guitar or a ukulele from a keyboard. The main point to emphasize, though, is that the number of vibrations per second is determining the pitch that your ear is hearing. And this is the physics of music. That same concept can be applied to any stringed instrument, or all instruments in fact, but it's easily demonstrated on a string instrument. If you look at the length of the strings on this particular instrument, and I'm not sure if we're able to capture it with the camera properly, but I think Alex is probably doing a great job. By dividing the length of the string in half, you double the frequency. So you'll notice that these string lengths, all stringed instruments have or most of them have a little marker at the midpoint of the string. That's always the 12th fret on a guitar, ukulele, bass, etc. And if you push your finger down on the 12th fret and play that note, it is the same note as playing pushing down on no fret. However, it's an octave higher. So this is the C, and this is the C an octave higher. So we've simply divided the string in half by pressing down on the 12th fret, and that produces the same note as if you played the string open. However, it's an octave higher. Again, this is kind of the physics of music, and it all comes down to the number of vibrations per second that is being emanated from the musical instrument. Another musical instrument is our voice, and we have voice chords that vibrate just like the strings of this instrument. and that's what allows me to produce a deep sound like this and all the way up to a high sound like that. I've been wanting to do that forever on camera. And this is the concept that I'm wanting to put across to beginner musicians today, is that it's the vibrations that cause the pitch. Every musical instrument is producing a vibration one way or another. The saxophone has a reed that is vibrating, and it's vibrating at 500 times per second when it's playing that particular note. A flute creates its own vibration by blowing an airstream across a hole that doesn't have a moving part like a reed, but it creates its own vibration within the flute. Every instrument is producing a vibration, and that is what we are hearing. Once you understand that that's how pitches are produced, it becomes easier to conceptualize how chords are put together. For instance, when you play the C major chord, and I'll do it on the piano, you're using 3 notes, and you're using the C, E, G. It sounds like this. Those 3 notes are harmonically good together because the vibrations that they produce don't make a messy diagram or messy confluence of vibrations. They sit nicely together. And when you understand that, it makes building chords easier conceptually. It certainly does for me, and hopefully it does for you. So I think I've made the main point that I'd like to put across in this video, is that music is all about vibrations per second. It doesn't really matter what instrument you're using. If it's in tune, it should be exactly the same vibrations per second as shown by this diagram. And I think you've probably got the message. So thank you for watching, and visit musicwormhole.com if you'd like some more excellent products which are a fun way to play music and will help you to progress as a musician. Thank you. Bye-bye.